Who's the most psychopathic person you've ever met? Siblings of diagnosed sociopaths. What's your worst experience with them? My brother has never had any empathy, as when he was just 7, my parents were told by a psychiatrist that he was a monster waiting to be unleashed. When he was 10, he started taking and dealing substances, and at 12, he stole my dad's car for the first time. He got his first criminal charge at 14 for robbing an old lady of her pocket change so he could buy cigarettes. My parents then placed him in a group home for troubled teens for a year, but he was kicked out shortly for attempting to strangle one of the staff members. He came home, and on his first day back, assaulted and choked my dad because my dad pressured him to go to therapy. My dad was hospitalized, and in the hospital he suffered a stroke because the strangulation caused damage in his blood vessels and led to blood clots. He passed away that day, and that's when my brother went off the rails completely. He got a girl pregnant and she was kicked out by her mom. My mom took her in. He then laid hands on her at our house a couple months later while she was still pregnant. When my mom walked in on my brother laying hands on her, she stepped in, and my brother turned his attention towards her. My mom was hospitalized that night. The pregnant girl ran away to live on the streets, and since my mom was too scared to press charges, my brother started thinking he was the head of the household. I was 20 around this time, but short and thin, and my brother was 18, but 6'4" and jacked. He was verbally abusive and emotionally abusive towards me and mom. On a particularly bad day, he told my mom that he'd have no trouble getting a couple guys to run her off the road when she went out. He threatened to unalive us on a daily basis too, and there was one particular instance where I was actually afraid he was going to. He did his usual thing of using me as a verbal punching bag because he had a bad day, and I was just burnt out. I didn't even react anymore. He hit me a couple of times and choked me. I don't know how, but I fought him off, grabbed my phone and ran to the bathroom where I locked myself in before he could get to me again. He was trying to beat down the door while I called the cops. The cops came while he was banging on the door, and still they did nothing. They told me he lived there, so we have to get along and stop fighting. Well, a couple days later, my aunt came to visit for a couple of days. My brother was his charming, manipulative self for her. She tried to pressure me into not pressing charges, since apparently I gave myself the dozens of bruises and contusions I had, as my brother had told her. I wanted to take my life at that point, and so I gave my mom an ultimatum, me or him. She chose me and kicked him out, but then let him come back a year later. I don't blame my mom much anymore, but she never could understand the fact that her love for her son was misplaced. My brother never had the things that made someone human. I haven't spoken to or seen him in about 7 years, but my mom's still in contact with him. She told me that he went to Spain when the mother of his daughter tried to get child support. For some reason, the mother started letting him see his daughter, and she flew to Spain with the daughter once or twice a year. That was until he locked them in his basement though and kept them there for days on end. He also withheld rent from his Spanish landlord for like 6 months. The landlord had terminal cancer, and my brother saw it as a waste to give money to a dying man.